Hello. Good evening,
Hi.
everyone. What were you doing there, Thom?
I was filing my nails. I like to keep my nails clean. I got stuff to do tonight.
Oh.
Jonah's going to be here.
Oh, yeah, very important. Hey guys, good evening, everyone. I am Crystal. This is my good friend Thom, and welcome to our Monday night rewatch. Up to episode 6 now.
6, yeah.
Season 2. Exciting. Couple more weeks, guys.
Damani was last week. It's Eyes Without Pity, right?
Yeah, this is another kind of, this is a tough one tonight.
Yeah, it was a rough one. The speaking of rough ones, the interviews that, and we'll talk about them a little bit more in a second, but Madeline Madden had some interesting things to say in a bunch of her interviews. And if you guys haven't seen all of the interviews, first of all, like, what the hell are you doing with yourselves? But there's a lot of interviews out for the press junkets, and the Dragonmount also has a PX interview from the Comic-Con Brazil.
Yes,
we got to our very own Humberto.
That's great.
Got to go and interview Rafe, Yosha, and Madeline in Brazil, and put out an interview with them. It was a ton of fun. But if you're looking for a place to find all of you, our lovely Rapunzel put together a playlist over on YouTube. So I'm going to post a link to her playlist because it's great. A bunch, if not all, of the interviews from the press junket, which is pretty great because Rapunzel's pretty good. We love her. Speaking of things that are pretty good, there are 2 people sitting backstage that I want to bring in because, like I said, I cleaned my nails for Jonah because for our date later. Anyway.
Look, here comes an awesome guest.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi.
Hi. Thom, I haven't watched any of the interviews, and I don't know what I'm doing with myself.
Well, I mean, you have a day job and children, so you have an excuse.
Okay, that's not an excuse. I have a day job and children. I watched like 5 of them.
That's fair.
Crystal, I haven't watched the interviews, but I do know what I'm doing with myself later, and it's right
above you. Yeah.
Yeah. Almost you. Really. Yeah.
And you won't get a yeast infection this time because I cleaned my nails, so you'll be good.
Also, can I just say something? I love your guest intro music.
You're welcome.
He also
like one of my favorite things. I forget about it every time I'm on your show, and then it comes on, and I'm like, "Yay!" It's gonna make me so happy.
I'm glad. That's what I'm going for. That's the plan here. It's just, and also I get to, instead of doing this, I feel like almost. Oh yeah, we are matching a little bit here. Mine is Cookie Monster though.
Oh, mine's
look at I'm drunk.
It's just a failure of my body, and I went to PT for it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we'll put your body through some physical therapy later.
It's been a day, so come on in, man.
Okay,
and those clean nails. I can't say I reciprocated, but that's
right.
on you, literally.
All right, my immune system is strong. I started drinking horse blood or whatever it is they're doing now.
Oh yeah, that's fantastic news.
Yeah,
nice.
Exactly.
Who are the whores?
I don't know.
Anyone he kills on the street.
Yeah, exactly. They don't have names. So the interviews were pretty great. And you should go watch them. And like I said, I posted that link, and I'll put it in the YouTube description of the video too for people so that we can check it out later. But as a little tidbit for one of the interviews, I took a clip that I feel like you guys would appreciate, and just to wet people's beak on some of the things that you might hear.
I don't know if I should say this, but in the writer's room, we always joke about the drag car being like a car full of drag queens. So when the drag queen arrives, it's just like, beep, beep, motherfuckers.
And this is how I know Rafe is one of us.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers.
I do like that as a drag car. That would definitely be a very confusing thing to see flying around at night. If
just see it flying around in the sky, and before anyone asks, 100%, you just see it flying around in the sky, and it's just like,
beep, beep, motherfuckers.
Oh, so much fun.
That's fantastic.
That was in response to Humberto asking if we were going to see Dragcar in season 3. That was
like
not his
maybe
only
in
response.
Cold Rock's Hole.
Yes. That
Beep,
wasn't
beep,
his only response.
if they don't say beep beep motherfuckers, I'm gonna be
I would be pissed. No,
Something's
Rafe
post,
did
I
actually give a
guess.
real answer to that. He said he has written full scenes for Drakkar to appear in both season 2 and season 3, but they've both been cut both times.
Huh.
And it's always the same reason both times. He goes to the special effects people and they're like, we're not putting this much money into one scene.
Yeah.
And I get that.
You know what? Honestly,
Does he
I feel
talk
like
to
it's
the
just
showrunner.
it is one of the monsters or in the Wheel of Time that I'm like, I'm totally fine with them never. I don't like I could care less, you know what I mean?
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does a continuing theme because we're doing this thing called a reread podcast. It's some bullshit, but kind of the slow diminishing values of a lot of these things. The Dragcar being one of them, pretty high on there. Like it's creepy as fuck at start. Pardon my language.
I think it's
and
like
then-
the crows or random birds, or better ravens or whatever. It's better than the Dragcar. It's just like I love the idea of that creepy, like that idea that the Dark One has security cameras everywhere, and you're just like, oh, that's horrifying. But I don't know, a giant bat thing. I'm like, yeah, get it out of here.
Yeah, and in fairness, probably the most disturbing death in at least the first few books is that poor fox in book 1. Just absolutely mutilated. Like you read that and you see Egwene, pretty much about to vomit while Elias is just laughing at her, like, let's go. Is one of the most just visceral scenes in the entire books. By the way, read the book series as well as watch it. So you know what? Keep the damn birds. Probably pretty cheap too, I would expect.
It was one of the few moments, I just started listening to the audiobooks. I've always hated audiobooks. That terrified me. I'm afraid of birds in real life anyway. That's a really scary scene when you're listening to it.
Right.
What?
I didn't mean to laugh at your
That's
fear.
fine. No, it's true.
I
It's
mean,
true.
it caught me by
I
surprise.
It caught me by surprise. I wasn't ready for it. I'm sorry.
I watched Alfred Hitchcock The Birds as a very small child.
Do you walk around with an umbrella at all times?
Oh my God, no. I'm not. Chuck shit. It's real. It's bad.
Sorry.
My students make fun of me for it. It's real bad.
When you did that, I pictured the scene from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade when Sean Connery's going down the he's opening and closing the umbrella. May my weapons be the stones and birds in the sky or something like that. I never leave home without my Charlemagne.
Yeah.
Speaking of, I never leaving home without things. I would be sad if we didn't get Darkhound. So I disagree with you.
I like the Darkhounds only because they're the evil, twisted versions of the wolves and parent-centric. The Wolf Brother thing is so huge, so it would be kind of sad to not see them go toe to toe at the very end of all of this. But before then,
I mean, maybe a reference or even just. I mean, I feel like they could get away with very low budget at putting them in the story by just putting paw prints in stone,
that's
opportune moments.
That's the creepiest thing for the Darkhounds, really, is the paw prints in stone being one, that fight right outside of Ilion in I think book 3, and then the ones where they cease to die unless you balefire them. Creepy, but again, for some reason, despite that very important, they can rebirth at any time. Rarely seen. So again, I don't really feel much connection with the Darkhounds either.
I don't either, but at the same time, like I said, it's really just for the wolves. If it wasn't for the wolves, I'd be get rid of those.
Same. And honestly, in the books, I feel like we never really got that. A slight spoiler for I guess the entire series, but only that there isn't really a huge confrontation, like an end to that story. It's not a huge the wolves on one side and the Darkhounds on the other side.
Well, I mean, kind of in Perrin's, isn't that kind of happening in
it's in the background. You kind of see them fighting, but that's really
yeah.
Oh, what's up?
So there is I've had this hard on for the last few days, which I should call a doctor about, or a few episodes of this strange kind of. And pardon my
call
language.
Me doctor. Sorry, I'm sorry.
This strange issue to me that Slayer was linked up with Perrin of all people, and I've said it again many times lately, and I apologize for being duplicative. But it's very strange considering what Strange, he's Rand's uncle and Land's uncle, and they come together with Perrin as their adversary. But I would be fascinated by the idea if Slayer had anything to do with the Darkhounds as a payoff to be Perrin's adversary. And I don't hate that if they were to kind of, again, it is technically artificial, and I do hate everything artificial when it comes to things, but except for ass implants.
I was going to say, you said you like my ass implants.
You need a big ass,
Yes, the higher the better, just that I can park myself, because I'm lazy during sex, as you know. But great show already. But I think that'd be an interesting kind of like to make the Perrin versus Slayer, adversary kind of a little more interesting. Maybe that's something to go with. Or of course, no.
Well, I mean, and the fact that especially like early on, they refer a lot to like the Darkhounds and
Crossroads and all that.
And the Crossroads, but also they refer to it's drawn a lot from the Wild Hunt, like the idea of the Wild Hunt, which is
they were reading The Witcher.
Yeah, well, there's a Nordic and Eastern
Polish.
European version of it, but there's also the Western, like Irish Celtic version of the Wild Hunt. So like it fits both ways. Like Odin is the leader, or like whoever is the leader of the Wild Hunt when you get further out into Eastern Europe, and Woden or whoever, the different denominations or different versions of him. But on the other side, it's like the Fae, and I think it's
that'd be Irish. Yeah.
I forgot who was the leader of it for the
Joe had just said about my wife being a wild. What was it? It rhymed with hunt, Joe.
It's cunt.
That's what it was. That's it.
That's very mean. It's my wife.
But true.
You made me say it.
Yes.
Often the truth is bitter. No, it's like someone. I think it starts with an O. I'll remember. I'll shout it out in a few minutes, and when we remember it. But like they could have Slayer fill that role, it's the leader of the Wild Hunt, and there's fucking.
That's true. You could bring him in later and make it work.
Yeah,
without really having reference them.
Exactly. Yeah, like he'll be just the wolves turning
the
up.
Wolves
in the dream.
Could tell Parrot about it, like expositionally.
And you could fulfill it with wolves turning up in the dream, both in the dream and in real life, dead with arrows or mutilated by Darkhounds, and then hoof prints in stone and shit like that from Darkhounds. And you don't need to invest into having an actor, that only pops up in like one or two scenes in a season, and the special effects for a Darkhound. I feel like that would be an easy one to do.
I feel like some of the best monsters are the ones you never see.
For sure. Absolutely.
Agreed.
Yeah, I guess, I'm gonna see if I could do a poll real quick. I'm gonna and I'm gonna ask you guys, which shadow spawn out of the shadow spawn that we haven't seen yet do you feel like we can lose? Don't repeat our answers, and Joe, you go first.
That we haven't seen that we can get rid of? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that you feel we can lose, and it won't be that big of a deal.
Aside from the ones we just talked about.
No, you could say one of the ones we just said. We just won't repeat our answers.
At a time. Jesus.
What can we lose? I guess we don't need the Grom. They can get out of there.
Fuck off.
You don't need them. The Shan-Chan are intimidating enough without like their weird.
Oh, Grom. Well, first off, that's not a shadow spawn. That came out of the Shadow universe.
Oh, it's not. I thought it was.
That's just one of their weird animals.
Yeah, wrong universe.
But they pulled it from. Isn't it from like
the parallel universe?
They think
they're blight or whatever.
We don't know where they came from, but they the prevailing theory is that they got them from the Portal World. But I think they just exist over in the Shan-Chan, to be honest with you.
That is correct. Yes, this man's correct. Also, Joe, it looks like we need to do the big white book of whatever the fuck shitty art for our show eventually, because you need to reread it.
It's true.
Yeah.
All right. I think for sure we could drop the Drakkar.
No, I thought we were going non. The answer, by the way, is a stick. If you remember,
the stick
with a capital S. With a capital S. Like everything that was the dumbest.
Pretty pointless.
No offense.
Pretty
Robert
pointless.
Jordan. Terrible name.
Never saw them. Never do anything. What about you, Crystal?
What about the worms? Like the big.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah.
kind of stupid too.
Basically anything in the
I
Blight
always
is
thought
kinda-
Beetlejuice when I
we don't spend a lot of time in the Blight
Yeah,
anyway.
just
So
say
it's
it
like
once. Yeah.
All right, I did put the poll out. Which shadow spawn can we lose? Now, I put worms with an asterisk because and this is a theory that I
Just threw it.
have that I know not everyone prescribes to, is that the worms aren't shadow spawn.
Technically, you may be right,
Okay, what are they?
because they say that they haven't transitioned and like there's a lot of things going on with them.
Yeah,
but
but also, I mean, like, it depends on what we're defining shadow spawn as right now,
Like,
and we
would
didn't
you-
really define it, so I think it works. Basically, what I like to think of shadow spawn are the things that Agonor made.
The creatures.
yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah.
And we don't know if Agonor made worms or not, or if they were just like a natural spawn of the blight, like the blighted bears and the trees and the plants and the stick and those
And the
things. Like we
Silver
don't.
Moon.
Yeah.
You know what I don't need to see? Female Trollocs.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No thanks.
I
I'm
would
looking
love
forward
to
to
see
it.
that. Yeah.
Well,
Crystal.
then Kevin can complete his Trolloc nipple collection if we got some of those too.
So do
The
you
real
consider-
question is do Trollocs have do female Trollocs have multiple like sets of nipples or just two? That would be the real question.
I think it varies depending on what animal they're blended with, right?
Okay. Okay.
Ooh. Crystal, your thoughts there on the nipple count?
I mean, a minimum of 2 is preferred. So
Yeah, preferred. Okay, if you say so, Nomen Garden, but like I don't know if we've ever seen that written anywhere officially. To tell you
I
the
think
truth.
it's in book 1 or 7, or between 7 and 8 with a big white book. To me, like, there's always been this fascination to stick on this topic of that sequence of events at the end of book 1 as they're going through the blight. Cloaca is such a wonderful term.
It's such a great word.
Feeling. I mean, that's not right. But like,
again, it depends on how much of their, how much
Yeah,
blending.
yeah,
is
what
going
animal you're
on.
pulling
They just
from.
have a beak mouth. Yeah, sure they do.
He's right. It says in the companion book, constructs created from the Age of Legends when they were known as Jumara. They are huge, vicious creatures created by Agonor, living in the Blight and traveling in packs. They were powerful enough to kill Fades. To be killed, they needed to be cut into pieces under certain conditions. Some of the pieces will transform in unspecified ways.
they eventually start to fly, supposedly. If there's a transformation that can happen, if I remember correctly, is what
And that's how we get
Forsaken
Mothra.
is. Yeah, but so one of the things that's always fascinated me though is like as they're getting closer and closer to the mountains in book 1, all of a sudden the Jumara quit, and Lan's response is like, "Well, they're afraid of whatever the fuck's north of here." And I've always been like, "Well, what the hell is that?" And we
Yes.
never see it. Like that's like again, like other than
I've always
one
just
certain
loved
village,
I think they did this pretty well in the show too, but I've always just like loved like the blight just like if you sit down for too long, like the ground will just start to
gonna
eat you.
eat you. Yeah.
Yeah. I've always had like a fan fiction story in my head of like
go on.
the polar ice caps above the Blight and like what fucking horrible shit lives there.
It's just in there. Yeah.
Yeah, like because if you go north of the mountains, like if you keep going north, you would expect to eventually get to a polar
We'll
ice
find
cap.
out when global warming finally melts those.
That's true. That would be it's some horrible version of like The Thing. Now we need to like write a script for The Thing, but Wheel of Time. I feel like
The twat?
That would be
yes,
awesome.
there you go. I like it.
A book about or a short series about like characters exploring the blight after the last battle would be really fun.
Yeah.
As it like
Actually, be really fucking
because
interesting.
it didn't like completely retreat or go away, did it?
It
can't remember.
retreated, but like the Blight
Yeah.
its influence didn't leave. Like
Yeah,
it was still,
and I
like,
know
the
there's
ground was
Trollocs
still-
left and stuff. I don't know. It would just be kind of cool.
Yeah,
See what,
I think so too.
see what would be
think you're
there
right.
or like what left would be there.
Absolutely. I think it would be awesome to see that shit. Like obviously they're going to be dealing with that for a long time afterwards. All the Trollocs
We
that
don't
are
know
left,
that.
all the Dark Friends that were left. Unless it's like in Lord of the Rings in the movie that the ground just swallows up all of the.
So that's not. I mean, well, I guess they could. do
I didn't
Well,
like
I think
that. I
Joe's
like
point-
the idea of them having to deal with it. Like, isn't just another thing.
similar to what happened at the end of the Age of Legends. But I think to Joe's point, it does seem like that's what Avienda sees, if I remember correctly, in her viewing.
Yeah,
which
It's one
I
of the
briefly
things,
forgot. So don't point at me. I briefly forgot too, and all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute. There's truth to what Joe says every once in a while. Most of the time it's all bullshit. But yeah,
100%.
Unless he's talking about hair care products.
Yeah, then I'm all on it.
Yeah. You should see his pubes.
Oh, they're coiffed just like his head.
Oddly enough, though, his pants have to stick 3 inches in front, not because of his erection, too small, but his hair, that pubic hair is combed forward. Very strange choice.
I fluff it up.
Yeah.
He actually is bald. That's just the hair from his trail on his back that he combs.
Rectal comb over. Yeah, not seen enough.
Speaking of rectal comb overs, we're gonna get ready to do our actual rewatch in a second. I got our timer over here that for some reason likes to change its size. So I'll just fix that. And I'm going to share the link to our watch party, which I will set to only me having control before I share it this time. Not like a silly pants that I did last time.
Did you make a whoopsie?
I made a whoopsie. People can't be trusted. That's all.
I did that in my pants. No worries.
And I posted it in the in our chat too, so you guys can click on the link. So if you guys are going to follow legit third-party web extension, works on Mac and Firefox and Chrome and all that stuff. It allows us to do watch parties, doesn't cost anything, and I think it'll make you re-sign into Amazon when you click the link. So be prepared for that. We'll give everyone a couple of minutes before we get started. And if you want to follow along otherwise, I got the timer down here and I'll line them up so we can follow along like that. Okay. Until then, though, I wanted to point out something that I saw interesting. I want to see if anyone in chat or if you guys have seen anything. I don't think you guys play video games like actively, like, right? Like you don't play like the new video games that are coming out.
I play some, depending.
Yeah,
the new Avowed is a new RPG that just came out.
Oh no, I haven't. No,
not yet. I did play Pillars of Eternity 1. Haven't played Avowed yet.
Okay.
If
cool.
Zelda's in the title, yes.
Okay, fair. So Pillars of Eternity, Avowed takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe for the people that don't know that. I bring it up right now because I was playing Avowed, and I really feel like if anyone in chat has played and can chime in here, I'd love it. But I feel like whoever wrote Avowed is a Wheel of Time fan because there's a lot of reference to death, and like when people die, they go to the wheel. They just call it the wheel, but people are also reborn from there, and it is integrally tied to all of existence and somehow. And there's a few things that, without getting spoilery for the game, because I think it came out like 4 days ago.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah, it's pretty new.
Yeah, it's pretty new. There are characters that talk about it in a way that really makes it sound like the wheel from the Wheel of Time. So if you haven't played it or if you don't plan on playing it, you could probably find like clips of the cutscenes and stuff like that on YouTube from Avowed. And you can see some of the references to the wheel. It's interesting. It's interesting, and I want to talk about it more once the game's been out for a little bit.
If you drink enough and you put together like a weird made up curriculum, you could probably make a very interesting, like semester of school of like weird Wheel of Time references, and like how like strange, like, and also obviously use the what the fuck was it called that came out just a couple of years ago, that kind of where Robert Jordan pulled all of his references by
or the one that Michael Livingston wrote, Origins.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
you could really get like Origins book and then like weird out things that came from it, because obviously George R. R. Martin has several references. There's a whole bunch of just like, and that's a very like, I love how he did it. It was very like, in a positive way.
Yeah.
Like there are some things that you think sometimes like, I'm not sure this was intentional, or this is intentional, but not going to put the man's name. Not at all how Martin did his. Like it feels like there's a lot of influence that's not really as open for whatever reason.
That's fair.
And I like to assume because Robert Jordan made bad jokes about them.
Maybe. Some people are also just jealous that he was able to, finish the series even after he died. The fun. Oh shit! I had something and it's gone now. What were you saying? You said.
I've got another shitty joke if you need a moment.
No, it's fine. I do want to hear a shitty joke though.
Oh, now. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
Right now.
I lost.
Perform for me.
No, yeah. Sorry, I didn't know I could now. Sorry, I was watching Marv over here with now. So one of my favorite things to think about sometimes is how many Wheel of Time books or Robert Jordan books have come out since he died versus actual authoring authors, and it's pretty funny because obviously there has been,
like Rothfuss is writing a trilogy and he's not done.
I know.
Jordan finished a trilogy after he died.
And he finished a trilogy after he died.
Yeah. And then of course, Warriors of the Alta EE. And if you haven't read that, then I don't know what to tell you. EE. Yeah, it's a mistake. It's great stuff. Great stuff.
Oh yeah, it's really good. Yeah.
Anything.
I enjoyed seeing like the early Wheel of Time kind of thoughts.
It was fun.
So much. It's interesting to see that Robert Jordan was influenced by Robert Jordan. Like you never see that.
Exactly.
It's rare.
It's very deep. Very deep.
It's the building blocks of the Wheel of Time told circa told through the lens of Conan the Barbarian is what that book feels like.
Which is interesting considering that he also wrote Conan the
Barbarian. Yeah.
He liked to be consistent.
It's true. Oh, I remembered what I was going to say.
Yay!
Thank you. It was a class when you said we should do a class on the Wheel of Time. So we've had a guest in the past who has come on the show. He's great. He's a fantastic human. You guys, I think, know him too. Sargon Donabed. He's often been a guest at Jordan Con. He's a fantasy author, but he's also a college professor.
Yes.
He teaches in, I believe it's Rhode Island. Doesn't matter. Whatever. And he does a history course, and some of his classes he's done on the Wheel of Time. He's used Wheel of Time as the course curriculum to tell actual historical stories through history and to show how folklore and storytelling influences how we look at history. And he's used Wheel of Time as the curriculum. So the kids will have to read book 1 and 2 or book 3 and 4. And yeah, I know, it's crazy. And
forced indoctrination. I love it.
I love it. And he's also just an awesome fucking dude. Yeah. Sargon is great. He's hilarious. Though he does refuse to use computers in any way. He's the worst when he's not on any social media ever. His website hasn't been updated in years. He barely knows how to use a computer and email, and he's only like 40. I'm like, you're not even you grew up with computers. Why are you you're like my grandmother with computers?
40 is ancient.
Wow,
ancient.
I feel ancient then.
Yeah, I will be 40 in 5 weeks, and yeah.
Welcome to the club.
Thank you. Yeah, look forward to it.
I'm surprised you made it this far.
It is very surprising. You would have thought that many, many, many things would have caught up to me, but the answer is probably next month.
Yeah.
So maybe
at
just
the very least syphilis.
Yes. It's a very Sisyphean thing to try to clean it out.
That's
well. What do we? Are we
glad I missed that.
Yeah. Hi, Aaron.
Okay. All right. I think that's enough stalling so that we could get the show ready. So if you didn't, let me share the link. I'll share the link again in chat. We got a bunch of people in there already. If this is the first time anyone's here, if you don't have ad free, you will get ads. It should catch you back up if you're watching in the chat. If not, you can realign with the timer when you come back. All right. I'm going to count down and then press play. Here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go.
Do you want to try to pause it? See how many times we can do that?
You can try if you like. one of the big themes in this episode, and I feel like is going to be a huge influence on two of our characters in the next season, is going to be particularly Nynaeve and Egwene. Nynaeve, it's going to be her block and her inability to channel, and Egwene is going to be all of the shit that she has to deal with, and particularly these last 2 episodes.
Trauma.
So, what do you guys think about Nynaeve and her channeling, and how they're depicting her block and things like that in the show?
I mean, have they even really done that well?
They haven't talked about it a whole lot.
Very little.
I think it's wildly inconsistent, unfortunately. Like, I feel like I wish they had kind of figured out their playbook on that before they had really started rolling with the show, because it feels like it's kind of all over the place. But maybe with this new season, the way that they're discussing it and handling it, it seems like maybe they'll, just by focusing on that aspect of what's going on with their character, maybe it'll be a little more concrete and understand. Like for instance, it feels like the dagger has no rules. Like, I don't know what's going on with the dagger.
It's a lightsaber. Like, it's like,
yeah, but you know, it's fine. So in the past, not so great, but like hopefully they fix that up in the next season.
The we didn't mention it once, but we had the 11-minute sneak peek of this season of the first episode of season 1, which was the battle in the White Tower, and we get to see Nynaeve go through her block a little bit when the battle starts.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And that came out over the weekend? That video?
Yeah,
Thursday
or Friday. Yeah.
Long weekend.
Yeah,
I haven't watched it. Making it a better but that being said, I agree with you wholeheartedly, Thom.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I knew I could count on you. I haven't
seen it at all.
I knew I could count on you.
Ideal guest. I haven't seen it,
but I agree with you.
Yeah.
I almost didn't watch it. Just, I mean, like, aside from us having content and a show to put out, like, I almost didn't want to watch it just because I kind of like to go into the season without seeing a big chunk of it before it starts, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
I feel similar. Similarly.
Like, I tend not to watch trailers as the movie gets closer to coming out, you know, kind of thing. But of course I watched it because I had to.
Well, I mean, it's tough not to. The idea that the way things are marketed nowadays, like where like they announce movies and TV shows years in advance, sometimes bothers me. But I feel like, you know, we're only 2-3 weeks out now, so
yeah,
whatever, dial it up a notch. Okay, as long as they're leaving some stuff still on the plate for us to see on the show.
I feel like season 2 they gave us quite a few little short scenes, and most of them were the cold opens for random episodes, if I'm not right. Yeah.
I remember,
like, we got the Dark Friend social, I guess, you know, and then
most of it, you know, it was cut down, but
the way that they
did
it, I don't think was good enough anyway. But
yeah.
I remember watching Congo, like the intro, like what, I forget what I was watching, maybe Waterworld, to just date myself further.
Congo, wow, I haven't watched that.
Like, what are you talking? Congo and Waterworld?
You mean that movie where Bruce Campbell is in the jungle looking for diamonds that power communication satellites?
Was that?
Oh wait,
Bruce
that's
Campbell?
only the first 3 minutes of the movie.
But I remember like being like fascinated by like the trailer, and like just like thinking like, well, I've seen like half this movie, and that was like a 30-second trailer. Trailers now are apparently 11 minutes long. And like just like the weird
okay.
It just, those have changed radically from what the fuck they used to do.
That's
I usually I mean, like, if I'm excited for something, like, I'll watch the first trailer, but then I kind of don't, like, as trailers keep coming out, I try to, especially like a final trailer. If there's 2 or 3 trailers, I try and only watch the first one.
More or less than the trailers. What do you want?
Okay, so we I'm going to spoil a little bit. I am going to spoil a little bit of the 11-minute sneak peek for you, Jono, because I want to talk about.
Oh, don't worry about him.
This that we see. There we go in the trailer, and we only because we just left the scene with the Adam with Egwene. This is one of the items that is stolen from the ter'angreal storeroom during the fight in the tower. And I believe the consensus is that this is part of the male Adam. This is going to be like, oh no, the Black Aja has this. We need to go to Tenchiko to get the other part before they get it.
Really?
What happens if you have one half? Like a fascinating, like I guess a question.
What makes you think that's just not a female Adam?
It does not. They do not look the
Different
same.
color.
So I have the female one. Hold on one second.
It's kind of pinker.
It is a different. I mean, that could just be the lighting, though.
I got the female one is right here.
Please be vagina. Please be a picture of ter'angreal or Tarvalon or something.
That'd be great.
I got the female one right here. It's the White Tower.
It's just a vagina. No.
Yeah.
So like it's very close in the way that it looks, but it's not the same. So
Yeah,
there's the male.
It's not quite the same.
But it's pretty close.
But of course, what if they're all slightly different, right? Just like the dream.
I was gonna say, like, are all
them.
the Adam like the exact same? I don't remember.
I'll grab another screenshot of one as we watch this episode, and we can put two female ones next to each other, giggity, and see what they look like.
Yeah.
I do like that idea though, because I mean that gets our characters to Tenchiko and the hunt for the Black Aja started pretty easily. Like if that is what it is, you know,
Crystal, Rand's got a minimum of 2 nipples.
A minimum. Yeah, he qualifies.
Yeah, we can't see enough yet. Now, Lanfear has 6.
Definitely.
That we know of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But now the question is do they like where Hamed Animation said that he doesn't really become Loyal until he puts the hands on for Loyal's costume? Does Natasha feel the same way about the nipples? Like not until she gets
I don't feel like Lanfear until I've got my full set of nipples on.
Yeah. You should ask her if you ever get the chance to interview them.
You know what? If she comes to JordanCon, you know I will.
I don't doubt it.
Yeah. Or Dragon.
Hey, now what you know there, Oliver's ears. What's up, buddy? Speaking of weird appendages.
They're very big.
They are. And there's a Dana Lou in there too. What up, Dana Lou? I didn't even see you there. What did Rosamund said something interesting in one of the interviews too that I wanted to bring up.
Okay.
Was it this?
Someone said, yeah, that was it. That's exactly what it was.
Yes.
Yes. I'm glad you starred that. That was perfect.
Mm-hmm. Well, I wanted to talk about it when you brought it up.
So they go. So they talked about the Ruidian. They talked about Ruidian.
Mm-hmm.
And in the episode, which is, by the way, they go into the rings in episode 4, which was what Rosamund said. Which when you should go back and check if you haven't watched that interview, go back and watch that interview. I think it was a ter'angreal interview, right?
No, that one was. I don't remember which one that was.
I don't remember which one. I watched all the interviews today, and they all bled into one.
Blurred together, yeah.
You discussed.
But just watch all of them, and then you'll find it. But she goes, oh, I think it's in episode 4 we do the Rudy. We go into the and Yosha's like, I don't think Rosamund can get in trouble. Like I don't think she can get in. But she says that Yosha plays 7 characters. So I'm thinking that to mean that we see.
She says 7 very different. Like she was complimenting his range
acting abilities.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that means we see 7 ancestors or
slivers
7
of
stages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or that could just be a mixture of both her visions and his vision.
Yeah.
Because we know he appears in some of hers
possible.
too. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's got to be it. I bet it's something like that. Because 7 seems like a lot. You know, like
for him too, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Well, but we know we've got like goth. We've got the goth Rand. We've got
the ugly hair Rand.
The long,
I hate that one.
That's
ugly hair Rand.
Ugly hair Rand is actually what I'm gonna have on my epitaph, which is coming soon.
Please no.
Do you guys have any characters from the books that you're like, I hate this character, and no matter who plays them or what happens in the show, I'm gonna despise.
I thought it would be Elida,
well.
but I love Shorey Agdashalu so much that I don't think I can hate her as much as I hate her from the books.
Okay.
Because like I
That's
hate
tough.
very few characters as much as I hate.
I like
Alida.
Alida. I like to hate Alida though. I like her like
Oh yeah, no, don't
the,
like
the
she's
classic
very
villain
well-
that you're just like, you're great. Also, I despise you.
Oh, the logic part of my brain, which is very small, recognizes that.
You a woman?
that she-
Mhm.
yeah,
Not
I know,
funny.
right?
It's not funny, Crystal. Sorry.
That like the reason I hate her so much is because she's so well written and because like her placement is so great. But I hate her so much. Like I just hate her because it's a great. I'm glad they decided to keep Alida in, and I hope she still fulfills the same role because she's human evil.
Yeah.
She's
in a very down to earth, like
Yeah.
she's full of jealousy.
Like I love that she
She's
never
what
turned out to
happens.
be.
She's a fascinating character because
our
like
friend.
ostensibly good, she never does anything that's overtly evil,
Mhm.
but everything she does is unintentionally evil as fuck. Like
Yep.
as
Mhm.
far as like the actual repercussions, like the way she wanted to do well, the way she had the foretelling that went the wrong fucking direction for her, like one piece of logic missing of now who's in charge of Andor took her down the weirdest path ever, where she literally worked against the person who was actually part of it, which I guess yes worked out obviously. So hooray pattern, like is just a wonderful piece of like irony of at least maybe one or two sorts, because technically we as the reader can see it. So that's dramatic irony.
Yeah.
I just wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and
Absolutely.
obnoxious as fuck.
Which is why, like, I'm glad they kept the white. Like, I'm glad they dialed up the villainy and the presence of the white cloaks to make them less of like of a joke. Because like in the book,
Yeah.
they were like you know they were almost like buffoons. Like they seemed stupid. They weren't scary, and they made them really fucking scary in the show. And hot too.
So,
Like, very very hot.
Diana's coming.
Oh, very
Crystal, you have somebody in the books that you don't like?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a popular answer when I say it, but Cadsuane has always just I never.
Oh,
liked
I think
reading
that's
those
pretty.
parts
She's
of the
pretty
book.
split down the middle for most
Uh,
people.
Down the middle, yeah.
Those are the
Either
parts
love her or
of the book that I
hate her.
would kind of.
Okay, I love her. But
like I feel like Cadsuane has a bit of a dichotomy though, right? Like, is it just like all the way top to bottom, Cadsuane fuck her, or what?
giggity.
A little old, but
I think honestly it was
Experience
probably the
human.
time in my life when I read the book. Like she was so matriarchal and just had that sense of like needing to be obeyed. Because I was, I think, 18 or 19 when I started reading them. That she was
Gotcha.
just a character that was really she grated on me. Like I didn't see her purpose really.
Yeah,
like
Right.
I just didn't. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
liked her.
So to
The
bring,
poor
I want to
man's
bring this
Moraine.
up now while we have the
Yeah.
lovely Kate Fleetwood on the screen.
yeah. What do you think of this scene here?
I
Oh,
kind of enjoy how much more they use Lanfear, honestly.
Oh,
Nano. Like, I
How
kinda
much more
like
they
it.
use Lanfear, but
Or
also the depth that they've put into Leandrin is
I
is-
like and don't like that sometimes.
I like it because it gives like, barring what the actual story is, like it's her son and all that, but just giving the Leandrin and Ishamael and the other Forsaken slightly different
Humanizing.
reasons for going to making it less about I hate Lutheran and I'm sad that he's stronger.
Yeah,
like
Yeah.
maybe rationalizing, not humanizing.
A little
'cause
bit,
they're
yeah,
actually
yeah.
terrible
So,
fucking
I was
That's
gonna
kind of
show
the
you-
problem I have with it, though. I feel like they humanized Lanfear a little. I mean, not Lanfear, Leandrin.
Yeah.
In
And
terms
I-
of like
I
why
wanna
she went to the dark, like a little too much, and I'm like, I don't want to like Leandrin. Like, I don't want her to
That's-
be like a sympathetic. Like, I just want her to be just a horrible dark friend that screws over Elaine and Nynaeve and Egwene. And
well,
just,
then you're
just-
gonna hate my theory because here's my theory. And I'm
You
and-
think she's
and this
gonna
is-
be redeemed?
So this is her costume that she's wearing
Yeah.
when she goes on trial in the 11-minute sneak peek.
Yeah.
Sharon is obviously trying to tell us something with this. She's half red, half black,
Mhm.
but the black has streaks of red in it too.
hmm
So
is
I have
like,
that every morning after.
Well, like
You get that checked.
that's the
Yeah.
ulcer. That's the ulcer from too deep of insertions, and we talked about that.
Oh, thank you. By the way, that's the applause here.
I'm sad that I missed the I have it recorded separately, but I'm sad that I missed the Ogier singing because it's a pretty awesome scene there. But
I love the singing. I hate this scene so much.
I do.
I
I like that they included Ogier's tree singing, but I don't like what was happening to do it.
I didn't like how the tree singing went necessarily because I feel like we missed some other stuff that would have been more interesting. But
this is why you wrote you. Oh, by the way, I don't know if you could see them. I have your pictures over here. I got something fun in the mail from Joe to his friends. Yeah. I showed them on camera when I got them in the mail, but
look at you.
He wrote. This is why you wrote. You secretly love Aaron more on the like Aaron's the best on the envelope.
Okay.
Only a little, Thom.
It's true. Well, it's all right. I love her more too. It's definitely well deserved. She has to put up with me on top of everything else.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I like the party scene only because it drives home the hatred for the Shanshan.
Yeah, but I don't know. For some reason I don't see the Shanshan as like vapid nobility. Like that seems like a scene you would see in like Grendel's hangout or something. Fair. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's part of that I'm just like, I feel like they're more utilitarian in their statuses.
Conquering a fucking nation right now. Like, it does feel very vapid. Vapid's a great word, especially when it is
Soroth though. So like, all right, kind of thing. Like I get it.
The part that like thinking about it in that way, I agree with it being like, I feel like Soroth would not bring herself down to be so comfortable and like informal around all of those people. Like, I feel like that would be a party amongst like the low blood or like very like it just seemed too relaxed to be a party full of like
they seem so like rigid in their levels of nobility.
With that being said, like there are some times where like, first off, I always want follow the source material.
Yeah.
But does it really add that much? And it's a question. I'm not trying to be leading.
No.
They're not quite as, like if you're a noble, you're a noble, whether you're up here versus here. Does that really bother you as like legitimate question? I'm not trying to give my opinion yet.
I guess so. Kind of with them, it does, because they're so, like, because in the books they're so rigid with like she's one of those aside from Turok Dinosaur Hunter, like she's the only one that's there.
I'm glad I'm not the only one that thinks that. Every time I hear his name,
she's the only one there that's like of the higher blood, right? Like everyone else is beneath her, so it seems weird that she's just like hanging out, with like lower blood.
Soon with his ball gams.
Yes. And the
this this whole episode and Egwene with this whole thing is just so well done.
Yeah,
and their acting is incredible.
Fantastic.
Like the physical acting that he has to do.
It's one of my. I think it might be my favorite episode of the season.
So one of the things I was thinking about specifically with her, and I want to go back to what we said before and how it's going to influence the rest of her character. So I went back and I rewatched some of the interviews that Madeline had gave. Leading up to season 2.
Prior,
yeah, and it was, she's trying to be non-spoilery, and she says like, she meets someone in this in this stage of the story that greatly influences her through the rest of the story of the books and her life.
Yeah,
and the situation that she's in helps her realize her potential.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's going to play a huge role in they get into it a little bit in the books, showing the trauma and how it affected her. But I think we're going to see a little bit more of it in the show specifically.
Yeah. I mean,
it's
there's
weird.
Go ahead,
Joe, you go first. No, Kevin. Okay, I'll go first then. Fuck you. It's a weird thing that like Jordan was sometimes so heavy-handed with so many things, but then when it came to something like this, very light-handed. But if you really look at it, like the amount of mental trauma mental. Fuck that. It's just way more than
Everything.
mental and
All
physical.
of it.
The amount of trauma all across the fucking spectrum that happens to her and how that affects her. Like, the first scene you see from her afterwards, she torches, fucking like Shanshan burns, pulling shit down. And, the next thing you see in the next book, she tries to do the same thing with White Cloaks. Like, the woman's been fucked up. And it's a very.
I think they almost did a better job in the show of like showing how deep that trauma goes, because this this is almost like 3 pages of the book almost. Or I mean, it's a little more than that. But like it's very
light.
I mean, it's in depth in what like gets described and what she's going through. Don't get me wrong, but like, and it's more them being captured and getting to where they're going before she's really even tortured. But like the show just really nailed how fucked up that situation is. And I like,
Hey, call on everyone else, by the way, but I hate this scene. But go on. Call on everyone else.
Oh, the scene. Oh, you mean Min and
but
Shama?
again, Crystal has something to say. You may, I don't care, about like that mental trauma and all that shit.
Yeah, go ahead. You go, Crystal.
Over Crystal every time.
I don't even know what I was going to say. No, I don't think he knew. There are certain things that he knew how to write about very well, and so rather than do it poorly, I don't think he.
That's
did
fair.
It.
I mean, yeah. Now you have
the 90s.
A team of people to do it, plus the actors themselves that can put some of their own.
But I mean, to Crystal's point, like, I mean, like mental health
was like
and like, and what people talked about and like how they handled it was very brief in those, in that era.
My favorite part about the Wheel of Time is that I don't want to say as poorly as it was done in the Wheel of Time. Like, it's not done to the fullest that a fucking therapist would write about it, but
the rapist.
As much as he did it in the Wheel of Time is one of the things I appreciate about it, is that the characters are affected by the things that happen to them. Mm-hmm. They don't just come out of the other end perfectly fine and never think about it again and have no influence on their stories, which I like a lot.
Rapunzel is correct. They did not have mental health issues.
That's kind of that's kind of the point.
It was very
I mean, they did, but it was like very stigmatized.
That's why
they did not. They fucking did.
That's why it was fantasy.
Sorry, Jenna. Sorry.
That's what
everything's fine. Everything's fine. I was fine in the 90s.
But he also wrote in the 2000s, and then it's okay to admit.
Exactly.
And that's he did a wonderful thing of like, obviously, I don't know if you know this, he was in this thing called War.
That's what I was gonna say to add on.
Yeah, he does show it.
But go ahead, Jenna.
He shows the influence of war and being a soldier in war, especially with the male characters, better. Then he shows some of the things that he's more unfamiliar with some of the other characters. Mm-hmm. Like you could definitely see like the trauma bonding between the some of the characters that go into battle together, particularly like 2 characters that you don't really see together a lot, but have this really strong bond is Loyal and Perrin. Like the way they end up together a lot in fights. Like
a really strong bond.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know what I mean. Like it's not. You don't see them together a lot on screen in the books, like after the Well, we could. By the way, spoilers. Let's put the fire
where are we?
Thing up.
Okay.
After Shadow Rising, you don't see them together a whole lot.
No, it's very disappointing.
Yes.
So I mean, on the battle thing though, like it's interesting because he was in war and he understood what that meant. Like there's a lot of battles he doesn't show. Like a lot of people are like, I can't believe he didn't write Matt killing Couladin, or like that kind of thing, or like stuff like that. And you're like
so Rafe said something in the interview with Humberto from the Comic-Con Brazil that was interesting. He said one of the things that we're trying to do is take things that didn't happen on screen, so to speak, and bring them to the forefront and live them with the characters. So I'm hoping that we see that. Like I'm hoping that's one of the things about,
like, I mean, from the trailer, indicating from the trailer, like Matt's obviously not going to Ruidian.
He's going to Tanchico, it looks like, yeah.
Yeah, he's going to Tanchico. So he's probably taking the place of like a Julian Thom kind of situation.
Yeah.
With the girls.
Yeah.
And then it seems like they're kind of combining Tanchico and Tyr. I mean, so like maybe they'll be captured or trapped like book 3 style and he has to free them or something, or maybe there's and very possibly like a twisted red doorway is there instead of Tyr, kind of thing. So like
We do know one is in
Is it
Tarvalon.
messed up that he's not going to Ruidian though? Like, I feel like that's like a huge
that changes
piece
everything he hears
of who he is.
Yeah.
Not necessarily if he gets to experience the same situation with the Finns that he does when he goes to the Redstone.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
But then, so potentially, book 4, like he's hung, and then Rand saves him.
Speaking of, hold on, Matt, I have another picture I wanted to share from this scene. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing here. Hold on.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little foreshadowy.
Very, very possibly.
Anyway. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I don't think it'll change his character too much if they do that, interaction somewhere else. You know what I mean?
Interesting. I haven't heard
Saving Tyr for later.
I don't know how it would fit later. I felt like it's kind of a
it feels like they're combining things this season, and to go back to that almost would be weird.
Well,
I guess
my theory for Tyr was always going to be that for the show, when we found out that they were going to the Waste in season 3 and not doing the Tyr part now, is they could go to Tyr when he comes back.
Yeah.
Coming back from the Waste, they can go into Tyr instead of into Carrion.
Okay.
Real quick, John, before you talk, this scene in particular, for instance, I really love with Lanfear coming in and just dismissing Ishmael and Tel'aran'rhiod. Like, they very subtly just go like, she's way better at Tel'aran'rhiod than Ishmael, kind of thing. And they're just like, she's like, yeah, get out of here. Anyway, this is hey Rand, what's up? And I just like, I really liked. There's a lot like of how they handle their Forsaken in general that I'm just like, what in the world? And then there's other times where I'm just like, wow, that was awesome. They nailed that.
Yeah.
But
okay, that makes sense. Rather than him putting it back and saying, "Here,
I'll be RP."
Yeah.
Tyr has always. I'm sorry, you go, Tom. It's your show.
No. I was going to go on a different topic, so stay with Tyr.
I'm sorry, Tom. I'll go. It's your show. That makes sense.
No, it does. You're the guest.
Like
I'm here every week.
Like weird, like everything that happened at the beginning of into book 3 into book 4 was fucking amazing, and then like it's just this weird gap, like what he does with Kalendor, what he does, and at the same time, like I love that. I think it's actually a wonderful like let's press fucking pause on this insanity, but at the same time, like I can see the idea of waiting for it to be afterwards. Again, I don't love it. It should be noted that I love everything that happens in the original books, and therefore anything else is different. It's wrong, but I still can appreciate the theory. So
two things. Egwene also mentions dreamwalking being a big part of next season specifically, which was great in one of the interviews. I wanted to talk about that specific scene where Egwene seemed to hear Rand and realize he was there.
It feels like she brought him there physically, right?
Yeah, well, I think that was what I was going to say is they're in the world of dreams right now. So I thought that my feeling on it was that they went into Egwene's dream, and Lanfear was like, "I'm so powerful here. This little girl who thinks she's an Aes Sedai could never really I can control this dream. She'll never know we were here." But then all of a sudden, she's able to hear Rand,
and she
before he's able to touch her, before they're able to have real contact, she
takes him away. Yeah.
Well, you mentioned earlier, by the way, that she's actually better in the world of dreams than Ishamael. Maybe that's true, which probably yes. But don't forget, she falls way behind. She being Lanfear to Moghedian.
Yeah.
And it seems like the Aiel Dreamwalkers are probably, minus the ability to channel as strongly. I apologize for being boring, Crystal. That's on me. They are very, very, very capable, and the wolves even more so to some extent. So really, there's a lot of fucking different layers of ability here. So maybe it makes sense for her to have that.
I started a comment that Noman Garden made earlier, and I just remembered about it. I wonder if they're going to do Pura in season 3. I think for sure they will. So for those who don't remember, Pura is Rima. So
Yeah.
that's the Aes Sedai that gets collared at the end of the next
White
episode?
as Shaw?
I think it's the next episode. Yeah,
Yeah, no, she's yellow.
Yeah.
Oh,
she's the
She's
one
yellow
that's
in
helping out Nynaeve and Elaine right now.
Yeah, she's yellow in the book and in the show.
I just couldn't think of what a Shaw she was.
Yeah,
Like,
she's
oh,
yellow
yeah,
in the
she's
book
yellow,
and in the
she's
show. And that's another thing which I think is obvious, but I want to say it anyway.
Women are
When she when Nynaeve channels again, I think it's the next episode. When Rima tells like she coaches her to be able to channel when they're trying to fuck with the Adam, is the moment that Nynaeve decides she's going to be Yellow Aja. Like like Rafe and the writers tricked me into thinking that Nynaeve may lean toward the red when they were playing with Leandrin and her relationship, right up until the point when Leandrin said to her, the only way to fix male channelers is to kill them. And she's like, no, this is a disease and we can cure it. And then she was like, fuck the reds. And then Rima, there's Rima, by the way, tells Nynaeve, when a patient comes to you, you don't think about healing them, you just heal them. And then she's able to channel. I think that was the moment she decided she was going to be yellow.
I'm fascinated by the fact that like so many of the Shan-Chan channelers had nasal issues, or not nasal necessarily, but they kind of got the hostage tape kind of thing going on. It's very strange. It's a very unlikely issue where they put that across so they breathe better. But I appreciate their.
Are you shaming people with mouth guards?
I thought it was
the Shan-Chan. Sleep apnea is a epidemic.
No, I'm very serious.
It could be a sensory need. They could just have sensory needs.
Exactly.
It's called gustatory
be too.
need. You have like oral fixation.
Talking about clothing, Tom, Rima is kind of wearing red and yellow at the same time right now.
It's true. That's very true.
My wife does that. Her vagina has those
gustatory needs.
That's because you don't clean your nails.
Ew.
Oh, shit! I forgot to grab a screenshot of.
That'd be ready on the brown now.
I'll remember next time she comes back on screen. But the idea, I think a big push on Nynaeve's character, like a big part of her arc in next season, is going to be her feeling guilty about Rima, feeling guilty about not healing Elaine when she got shot with the arrow in the courtyard at the end of the season, feeling guilty about getting the Suldam killed that she's bound to with the Adam at the end of the season, and not being able to heal Rand after he gets stabbed by a shotmail. Like, I think all of those things are going to add to her block in a way, and she's going to be even worse at being able to embrace power next season.
Yeah, maybe they've been building the block in a way that
like
because we haven't seen it pay off yet, it seems inconsistent to us. But like maybe that's an. I mean, like every time I find something wrong with a show, I try very hard to go like, well, that might pay off later, so I'm not gonna like, I'll wait. My judgment is held in abstention and like until like
same exactly.
Maybe this doesn't come to fruition, I'll be mad later. But like it's okay. Like right now, it's okay. I'll just see where that goes, kind of thing.
It's got to make a note to be mad later.
To be mad later,
we've already had a guy shit on the show named Thom, and we appreciate his contributions.
So just real quick, I just want to pull this up. This is the image. This is like her face in the trailer or whatever you want to call it. Where she's trying to channel and she can't get it out.
Yeah.
Been there.
Like you could see, like look at her face, like when she like as she's doing
it. It looks like she's really trying to like concentrate. It's just not
shit it out.
She does look.
Also, I love this. I love the banded.
Yeah, the costume design is stellar.
Yeah.
I find it very few times am I like, that looks weird, or whatever. Like all the decisions they make are very interesting.
Yeah.
Me and John were joking about it earlier, but we despise the Horn of Helier.
Oh wow.
I'm just like, what were you doing? So sometimes they just fall short like dramatically, and other times I'm just like, that was amazing. But it's the costume design. I love
we've made so many jokes about what it is.
Maybe it's not the real horn. Maybe they'll find the real horn.
The glug glug. Or like Joe and I briefly were talking today, and I never talked to Joe because I hate that motherfucker.
Yeah,
but, like, maybe it was a prop that was supposed to be CGI, and they just forgot. Like,
They're like, here, hold this vase. We'll get something in later. Oh shit, we don't have time.
It's also
just
the
put the slits.
color.
Put the slits in it.
Like it's awkwardly gold.
Crystal.
It's the urinal of the there we go.
It's the bedpan.
The
of
urinal
the
is clear. First off, that is my hero. Whoever that man is. Yeah, just mouth agape.
I just don't understand it. Like, and Jono,
listen.
what did you say earlier? It was so perfect. You were like, what were the test audiences like, or something? You were like, why didn't they just go? How do you like this prop? It's called the horn of Villiers. And like, how many? Like, I feel like 100 out of 100 people would have been like, "That's not a horn." All right,
No.
it's like, what are you doing? I don't know.
Even fucking mechanically, like where does like
How does it?
way horns work? I mean,
I get that they're trying to make it look different,
like
and alien.
well, the only thing that
of its own, but like, it's just like, what do you do? I don't.
The only redeeming
Every
thing that I
single
could say,
person that's read the books is like, what?
yes.
What?
I mean, well, the only thing I could say about it that makes it make sense in my head is that it kind of looks like a conch shell.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Jonah,
That's
not
what
a
I said.
conch.
I literally said it
Redeeming?
looks like he's.
That's
Yeah.
not redeeming.
But like,
No,
but
it's not.
but that makes sound. It makes you can blow in it. It makes sound.
Right.
Like kind of like
But
Jonah.
You know what else does?
But
My
that's
asshole.
horrible.
Like that's not a fucking redeeming feature of it.
I guess.
By the way, I
Hey, by
love
the
like
way,
we're
we're
about to
quickly
see it, but I
on
love the
screen.
air. I love the air knives.
Yeah.
So awesome.
We of course have someone from Ace Ventura 2. That's the most
Oh,
important.
Mogideon? No,
No.
that was Ace Ventura, not Lloyd Christmas from Dumb and Dumber.
No, Ace Ventura 2. We have the fucking princess. One of the most important movies.
Oh, Ace Ventura.
Movies in
The
cinematic history.
Amaryllis seed is in Ace Ventura too.
Oh,
That's what he's
she's
saying.
the princess.
Oh.
She's the princess of the Watuchi or
Yeah.
whatever. I can't remember the name of the tribe.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
hilarious. I didn't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, did you not know that?
No,
Oh my
I did.
God.
I never remembered that.
This is a wet dream from 1995, John.
That's fantastic.
Wheel of Time, Ace Ventura 2 coming together. Like my dick might have exploded at 10, 11
That's
years
amazing.
old.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Like these scenes are such a departure for the books, like him spending time with Logain and like and this kind of thing. But I like this.
I don't hate
Like I
it.
like there are things from the show that I'm like, this is wildly different. I don't understand what this is doing with the timeline. I don't understand how this is going to affect things later. But I love these scenes, so I can't like. I'm just like, all right, well, I'm willing to see where you're taking this. But
Exactly.
I think the arches
That's
are
the
like
part that I like about the show, and I've said it a million times, but like, and you just said it a minute ago, where it's like I don't know what they're doing with it. But we get to be excited about Wheel of Time again. Like we get to be like, I don't know where this is going to go, or like,
yeah,
I think I know where this is going to go, but I don't know how they're going to get there. So now we got to watch, and like we get to sit on the edge of our seat and see new Wheel of Time content again.
So
I
I forget his
I only
name.
hope-
Like something Alvaro Morte, something like that.
yeah, Alvaro
Logan?
Mortis, yeah. Yeah.
Is that what? Did I nail it?
Yeah,
you got it.
that's it. Yeah.
Either way, like I find him like fucking magnetic when he's on screen.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe because
Yeah.
he's partially gay.
He's fantastic.
Fantastic.
Mm.
I don't love some of these scenes though. Like I kind of wish they just. I don't know the right term. I don't want to be some like weird like, well, I wasn't on the fucking book, so fuck yourself. But at the same time,
So like
there
for
are
me,
some
like
times I'm
these
like-
scenes are setting up him knowing that knowing that he'll need a teacher later. You know,
Mhm.
like, and
That's
he's
what
like,
they're telling
like
you.
I
it,
get
it
that.
reinforces an Asmodean type.
you know what
I
else?
don't know if they're
enforces
having
Asmodean? No offense. His inability to channel without a teacher.
Yeah,
Which
well,
also-
one of the but that kind of so one of the things that we saw and people picked apart in season one was that Maureen talked about being able to teach Rand.
Mhm.
And like, she said, basically like they had a very quick discussion and, like about showing him how to do things. And I think the way they're doing it in the show is basically giving the unreliable narrator, making the Aes Sedai not know everything the Aes Sedai knew. Therefore, the viewer doesn't know everything that's true in the world that is the show. Where,
Mhm.
like at this point in the books, we knew a woman couldn't teach a man to channel. Like we even had the scene in the Stone of Tyr where Egwene
Float
and
like a butterfly sing. No, that's
Elaine.
not right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, was it Elaine at 9?
No.
Or was it
Elaine and
Elaine
Egwene with
Elaine and Egwene.
with Rand, yeah.
Yeah,
When
yeah,
they're like,
And then she grabbed his butt.
yeah. where she was like, "No, how did you put that fire out? You'll die." And then like, that's how you
Yeah.
put fires out.
Yeah.
I'm a dude.
Also, another great thing about this season was Matt and Rand seeing each other again for the first time. And,
Oh, yeah. This is when
it's the new actor, so it's like a very, but they sell this so well.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
like applauding their acting abilities. They're like, you almost forget that the actor was different in the first season. Like, you know what I mean? You're just like, oh my god, Matt and Rand are back together. Like, yeah, like, you know, I thought that was a great scene.
This scene specifically, like that scene where they hug each other,
Yeah.
is
The one on
like
one
he
here?
became Matt for me in that scene.
Yeah, 100%. Because he needed I think he needed the grounding of like being around one of the other main characters to like kind of like break our brains of the
Cement
fact that he had
itself,
been
yeah.
changed.
Exactly.
no offense, like the other shit with men didn't do it, but he was there. Like I have no problem with the guy who's Matt. Like first season or second
I
season.
love Donald.
Oh yeah, they're both
Fantastic.
great. I mean, but
Yeah.
I mean, I'm always going to be like a little sad that the guy didn't continue from, or Barney.
too.
didn't
I will
continue
say
from the
this,
first
yeah.
season,
one of the
but like,
biggest
but I think the
losses-
new Donald does a great job.
Donald's fantastic. The
Yeah,
one
like,
of the
look at
biggest
this- look at
losses
this
though
face.
was
How can you not love this face? Look at that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like he's like
So good.
genuinely joyous that
He
he's
is an
got more
amazing
smile
actor.
lines than
Rand.
my erection does.
No.
My penis
Like his eyes
doesn't
are
get hard.
glassy. Like he looks genuinely like full of emotion, like so happy that he's about to cry. He's a great, and this
They
is
actually
why
are
he's going
showing
to
him
be
the contract of the first guy from season 1.
like, oh my god, that's how
Really
little.
dark.
No.
Yeah. No, but I forget the guy from season 1, but he was fantastic,
Barney.
and I'll never
Barney,
forget how much
Barney
Maria
Barney.
loved him too. And I was just like,
Yeah.
again,
And because
I have
Maria's
no
favorite
preference,
character
no
is
problem.
Matt.
Life goes
Yeah.
on, but they were both fantastic. I think they were
Yeah.
like literally just both fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah.
And it's also rare that like there's an actor, considering I do find a few flaws this show, 2 actors I think are fucking great.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Also,
You
the
know,
show is a
again, like
superstar
as
pop
many problems as I have with the show, like it's never about the acting. Like I've always
No.
found like
No,
like whoever's
no.
doing the casting for all the shit, like just every character seems to be just
Spot
crushing it.
on. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's whether
this
they're
is-
delivering like story content that I'm like I have disagreements with or problems with or whatever. But like other than that, it's like but the way they act in the scenes is always
phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is something that I actually liked that they did. Like they're not doing the thing that a lot of TV shows and movies try to do, where they like pretend like it never happened. Like, no,
Yeah.
it fucking happened. Like, whatever, we had to do what we had to do, and here we are. Like, they're not gonna reshoot this whole thing, like pretend like Barney was never part of the show. They did it. Here it is, and we move on.
Barney, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's like that
Like, I
weird
kind of like that.
night. You're just
Mhm.
kind of like, well, that was fun, right? Like, do you
Well,
want to
I
bring
was-
it up? Do you want to not bring it up? Let's bring it up.
Go ahead.
Tom, you were there. Alone.
Where? What?
You were there.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What are you?
I'm
talking about,
lost right now. My Adderall is wearing off.
Oh,
Don't worry, it'll be taken from you soon anyway, Tom.
That's true.
too soon.
Sorry.
It's going to be illegal soon, probably.
Damn.
We all get to go to
Mental
camp.
health is real. It's real.
It's
I promise.
I don't think so.
One of the things
It's only as
looking
real
at
as
this
much
plot-
as we acknowledge it, and the second we stop acknowledging it, it'll go away.
That's how it works. I
Oh.
forgot. We're men.
Everyone knows that, Tom.
I forgot.
Come on.
Remembering that we're watching a TV show, I looked
What?
back over at it,
Hmm.
and the shit that I really want to, if I get a chance to interview Madeline again, I want to ask her about is the scenes where she gets like influenced by the Adam, where you see like either Rena
Mhm.
or the Adam itself stopping her, like, you know, she can't touch it or whatever. She does this thing with her body
Oh,
where
she's twisting her.
it's
Yeah.
so
Crazy.
creepy. It's so
Even
creepy.
so, it was many scenes ago. It's close to the beginning of the episode, but when she was on the ground, like writhing in pain, and it had like moved on past like when she should have been feeling pain still, and
Yeah.
Rena was just talking to her. She
She-
still had her hand
yeah.
like twisted up in
Yeah.
like
A
a
little,
creepy
like,
way,
yeah.
and like she was
does
still like
weird
like
shit
her
to
muscles were
hand.
still
Yeah.
like locked,
You-
like in pain,
Yeah.
kind of thing. And I was like, man, what a great Like just that little subtle thing that the actor was doing in that scene. It was just great job, Madeline. You know?
What I'm hoping for is that we see that, like, I feel shitty saying I hope we get to see this trauma replay itself in this character, but like it would be really interesting to see Egwene like have something very difficult happen that's triggering for her for this, and like her arm twist. Like
no, that's going to happen.
That would be really cool.
In the next season, presumably is going to be kind of like books 4 and 5, right? Obviously, we know.
I think it's 4 and like 3 combined, Jonah.
But like we know where she goes. So she meets Gawain,
and this is like 2 and 3.
She meets him at the Long Man. She jerks him off, but she's gonna have that like weird like hand motion. And that's
like
gonna
like
be
the spasming makes it seem natural.
Yeah. So
the uncoordination.
I think she does a fantastic job. I really, and like Tom, to your point, I really do hope like this trauma, like this Egwene to me, like is like one of my favorite things in the books, and like not like in a good way, I guess, as fucked up as that sounds, but like I love that she went through this early on because it made her so strong later.
Yeah, very interesting to read. It added a layer to her. Like I hate to say, I loved to see this person go through this horrible thing, but it was
that's why I loved that they spent so much time on it in the show and like gave us like a truly traumatic episode filled with it, just so you can go like later on they could just constantly refer back to it and be like, it will justify like everything. Every decision she makes almost after this.
Well, because honestly,
kind of like in the regards of like, I'll never be captured again kind of thing. And like, you know,
in the books, it plays out like the trauma plays out so much more in her relationship with Nynaeve. And he focused more on that portion of it, which kind of
is Jonah misbehaving in it? I think you're being pretty good, Jonah.
He's doing a good job.
Jonah's
in her relationship
he's
I see nothing wrong with his behavior.
He's great.
Jonah doesn't have a filter. Everyone knows this.
I've only known Jonah for 15 years. It's fine.
You were saying, Crystal, before these fucking men interrupted you, pieces of shit.
I don't know. Oh, no, just that the show did this better because in the books, there's been a lot of, I literally listened to the end of 3 and the start of 4, like in the last 24 hours, is her and Nynaeve like bickering and fighting. And I feel like that was how her trauma played out in the books, was in her relationship with Nynaeve, who was that like authority figure. And I think that's fair, but I don't think that's realistic. Like that's a very watered down version of what the trauma would have done to her.
Yeah.
So
it's a more childish version of it.
I hate to use the word petulant, but it comes off more as
petulant in the book.
Why don't I like the word petulant? It's a great word.
I don't know.
It aptly describes her.
I think I was called a petulant child, so I try not to.
Well, I think Nynaeve was also exhibiting signs of like it wasn't just Egwene.
No, not at all.
Being like, you're not in charge of me anymore. It was also Nynaeve going like, I'm still in charge of you, kind of.
Still in charge.
You know, like, and you're just like, no, you're not. Stop it.
I hated book Nynaeve for a very long time until I got older. She was very tough for me.
On a very related note, Thom pet my lant. That's not right. Pet you want means, is it? No, never mind. It's my penis. That's it. Penis.
Yeah.
But not you.
That's a bad word for your penis. Lent. I don't like that.
Yeah. It's like a lance that's singular because it's smaller.
How devastating is the scene where Matt can't go to help Rand and he hides from him?
Oh,
like, wow,
God.
they sell that.
6 out of 9. It's pretty fucked up.
Pretty great.
This is again why I say Donald is a great actor. Like the range of emotion that he's able to do, and the fact that he was able to get it done coming in the second season. Like they don't have the rapport, they don't have the memories from being in season 1 together, any of the stuff they did, and he's still able to pull this emotion.
That's what I'm saying. I think that speaks to his abilities, because like I mean, coming in cold like that to a cast that's known each other for a full season, and you're kind of like, you know.
I think Donald
season 1 had a lot of problems, and a lot of it was Matt was gone when he shouldn't have been, you know, kind of thing. But and obvious reasons why. But like, you know, the fact that he came in and just crushed it was awesome.
He got I mean, like he did Hadestown, which is a big production in London, and I want to say he got cast in another really big show recently.
Oh, he's in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. Oh no, he's playing. He's going to be in The Witcher. He's going to be in.
Oh, really?
Oh no, he was already in The Witcher. That's not what it was. It's something. There's a new show coming out that he's going to be in. I can't remember what it was that they announced that he was going to be in, and I can't remember what it was now.
I don't know. Watching his interviews,
as long as they don't downplay Matt in later seasons because he's got 2 jobs going on. I'll be fine with
that would be terrible.
Yeah, I'm sure this is going to be Wheel of Time is going to be his bread and butter for a while. I think.
Speaking of 2 jobs and buttering some bread, what are you guys doing after this?
Buttering your bread.
My God.
Putting some cheese on your cracker.
John likes marmalade.
There you go.
Sorry.
There'll be eggs. Don't worry about it. I like the relationship between Min and Matt. Like I like this because they're struggle. I struggled a little bit, but they did the best they could with what they were served. Like from season 1, they didn't have a lot of options.
All right, so legitimate question. You opened this up just like my rectum. What? Can we one day have a real conversation of what the fuck happened season 1? I don't care. Not like in we'll go over this.
Yeah.
But legitimately, A didn't happen, therefore B didn't happen, which this kind of thing and how it would have gone.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think they spent too much time with the mystery of who the Dragon Reborn was, because it's just come on, guys. And I get what they did. I get why they do it, because it's a show introducing the show to as a story to a much wider audience in theory.
Random dickheads who don't.
I get
shit.
it.
Yeah.
And then, but the things that kills me in season 1 is Matt's lack of presence in the last episode ish. But I mean, that's why we know why, or we know why. What happened was going on. But
some of the other things are pretty
but
bad.
the 2 episodes they spent on the the water bond death character, that whole stuff, I was I don't need it. And then one of the episodes is after that is 1 month later and we catch up with, and I'm no, don't give me 1 month later. Dude, don't give me those 2 episodes and give me Perrin and Egwene on the run with the Tinkers.
So much time on Progressive Insurance too.
The only reason I forgave them pretty much anything in season 1 is because we know, Rafe said, not only was it that they, couldn't do anything with Matt after episode 5 because Barney wasn't there. He never came back. They had to re-edit everything that they already did. And they couldn't shoot anything new with the character of Matt because Barney never came back.
He's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you pay attention to that Warder episode, there isn't a single scene with Matt. So I feel a lot of what we ended up getting.
Give me more Perrin and Egwene. You know what I mean? I don't know.
They might not have had enough final shots without Matt in it. That's the only reason why it's hard to criticize a lot of season 1 without acknowledging that. Everything always kind of comes back to it in my head.
But if I give you $100 million, is it really easy to apologize? No offense. All right, fair enough. Season 2 then is on the back foot, and you're still getting another $100 million, whatever the fuck the budget is.
70.
17. No, I'm kidding. And you're still on the back foot, and that's a lot of fucking money. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But the thing with season 1, and I can see here's this is my thing, is it always comes back to it. Even with the money, they didn't get an increase to the budget, even with COVID. They had to build sets that they weren't planning to build. They had to re-edit, which cost money.
That being said, season 2, I felt came back really strong.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
A lot of their
I don't think it was quite the writing of the ship that Rafe kind of said in interviews prior to season 2, but that I felt it needed to be, but and they still made weird decisions, the dagger and strapping the dagger on the end of the stick. That was what are you doing? So there's things that they did wrong in this season, but it did seem it was closer at least to what it should be. And,
if you feel,
hopefully season 3 is much more of that. Yeah, and it seems it's gonna be.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at it in the fact of, if you look at it as Barney leaving in season 1 as a wound to the story and to the show.
Shit, I feel that this scene was in this actually same episode.
Yeah, that it's kind of healed at like by now, like we're almost to the point of where it's completely healed now in season 3 as a wound to the story, because like they've almost.
Well, I'll see how season 3 goes, and I hope that's true. But like, and it seems like it's going to be very much closer to like what we all kind of want it to be, and like kind of thing. But
so the answer is, it's very much a Scooby-Doo, right? Like, would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't that meddling Barney.
I'll meddle your Barney.
Oh, by the way, Barney's my butthole.
Yeah, I'm fully aware.
And he's gonna meddle it with his tongue.
I will. I have a shirt that says "I eat ass."
Don't put that.
It's on the back. It's on the back of my Idris Elba is on top of me as my ideal weight.
We've done a great job commenting on how many orgasms I've had. That's not. I don't know how many. What's going on in the show?
That's pretty typical.
On that note, I despise Elaine so much, but this actor, I mean, come on,
actress,
she's good.
What?
She's doing a great
Elaine?
job.
Oh, Kira. Is it Covini or?
Also, I didn't like hate Elaine in the books yet, so I mean, like, it's fine. But like later on, I'm wondering if my same like, because my hatred will be attached to an actual human being and how they're doing in the scenes. I wonder how well she'll be written and how it will play out. If I will still feel the same way about Elaine in the show as I do in the books.
I don't know how you guys feel, but one of the things that I've really enjoyed, because I love. Despite all the sexist things that I say, which are true, I mostly love Elaine. I often let me try that again. I often love Elaine. Mostly love Nynaeve. Mostly enjoy Cadswain. So like this fucking like I just the changing of the guard of which one of those is good character versus not is very interesting.
Inexplicably, you hate Fael.
Oh, it's very explicable. Did you fucking read the goddamn words?
I did.
She's
and I love her.
Fucking worst.
I love her.
Unibrow
the worst.
But Jesus Christ, Joe, stick on topic and stay away from your goddamn terrible vocabulary. Lexicon's atrocious.
Yeah,
but that being said,
I don't know if anyone saw, but for some reason, Luna, you could Luna showed up. He's on the camera, and he's drinking, and he dipped his paw in the water and then shook it at me. And he just threw water over it. He's right at me.
He's pissed you locked him up earlier. He's mad at you.
Look what you did, you little jerk.
I do like I like Fael in the books, and I'm excited to see
Fael looks
her in the show.
great in that trailer.
Yeah,
I was like,
Isabel is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
The one thing that I think,
I mean, you saw her for like a second, and I was like,
there she goes. She's doing no, she didn't do it that time. So I do want to talk about this scene in particular, though.
Okay.
So one of the things that they don't really get too deep into with the Adam is how they talk about the Damane needs to accept in their like own mind and body that they're never going to escape, that they're never going to attack.
There's a song about that.
The Sul'dam, about the Sul'dam, never going to attack the Sul'dam. Not going to use like in this instance. She's not.
You don't
going
feel like
to
they
use that.
did a good job
in the show.
that out.
It's not just that. It's that she like the idea of being broken. Like she has to be broken.
Oh yeah.
To do that, she needs to accept in herself. I'm never escaping. I'm never gonna gonna like that in order to be able to do the things that Rena is making her do right now. So what I'm hoping is that we see that play out a little bit more in the things that we see later, and we see it right now because she breaks. Right now is when she breaks, and we see it a little bit. I
love Rima's weaves in this scene, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Like the way she breaks people apart in this is reminiscent of like the opposite of what she would do to heal somebody.
Exactly.
And I'm just like, I love the way she fights, because it's kind of like, oh, I know how to mend a bone, so I'll just snap all of her bones.
Exactly.
Kind of thing.
You got to be scared of the people that heal, because they know how to unheal.
Yeah,
too.
man. I was like that.
The entire
she
story
fights
of one
so
of the,
brutally in this scene. It's amazing.
It's the entire backstory of one of the Forsaken, in fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also one of the several of the Black Aja. Like I love that, right? Like to your point, Tom, like Jesus Christ, what Grendel, what Samarage, like the way that they go from like one to the other is delightful. It's so humanizing for people that are supposedly like demigods almost, really. It's kind of how they're kind of interpreted to be. Like, it's the most human thing that could happen. And they're wonderful. Also, I love that we spent zero time watching this show.
We're watching.
I've been watching it the entire
throw
time.
It back.
Mm-hmm.
Here's
Joe,
where she
your favorite
breaks.
part at 3 minutes and 38 seconds.
This part.
Out of time, Joe, you piece of shit.
I love this fight.
Scream
for all of the reasons that we've already stated. I love this.
Look at that. That's so amazing.
This
oh
one,
my god.
She just like
Also, that
just
actor,
folds her body in that. Like it's just fantastic.
The actor did it. Like though, she did that. Like it looks like she's probably like a contortionist or something.
Oh my god.
And the emotion on her face.
Fast forwarding time because she's a contortionist, getting older and older, and she'll never get up from that dance.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just
fantastic.
I was a little sad in the last episode that Nynaeve didn't even bring up Rima, and Elaine didn't even bring her up like once. Like we need to find Rima while they're in the courtyard or anything. Like, But I guess they had to cut some stuff. Maybe they did reference it at some point. But I'm really hoping that they talk about it in season 1.
I think Nynaeve and Elaine were handled very poorly in the last couple episodes. Like their story arcs didn't really they just kind of pushed them
showed up. They just showed up.
Yeah, to the end. Like it didn't feel very fulfilling, sort of.
I think it's hard when you have this many characters.
Yeah,
who are considered
big cast,
characters to give everybody's story justice in only 8 episodes that are an hour long.
Yeah. The fun thing about as we get closer to releases, they keep putting more and more stuff on IMDb.
Oh, really? See, I don't look at that at all in relation to the show.
I try to watching trailers. I try to avoid information that I don't need.
I look for official information so that we can talk about it. But they don't have her listed in season 3 yet. The actor on IMDb, at least they don't.
So I'll be honest. I'm actually pretty. I lost my own joke. I think there'll be somebody. You sent some completion.
I'll bring you to completion later. Don't worry.
Yeah, but I.
How brutal is it when Renna pours the water out that she pours?
Look at her face. Look at her face. She had help. Nynaeve was there. Come on.
Yeah, she got limped up the stairs with Nynaeve.
So I'll be honest.
They played
where's the arrow?
3-legged race.
In the muscle? Is it in the knee? Because there's a giant.
I thought it was like her upper leg.
Yeah, I think it's her calf.
If it's in your muscle, it's not great. Don't get me wrong.
God, it's such a powerful scream.
That sounds like my wife during sex.
I'm not surprised.
Not with me.
Just the crying though.
The fact that she can drink is what's upsetting her, and it's so fucked up.
Yeah, and that, like I said, that's where she's had to accept in her own self that that's not a weapon. I can't use it to escape. Like
this little bit with the Blue Aja sitter
with Megan.
I love this because it speaks to like future respect that actual Aes Sedai that have like been Aes Sedai for X amount of time will have for Egwene as such a young character, like later on, kind of thing. And I like there, like the fact that she's like, you lasted longer than I did, but like, but it's just like the slightest hint of like, of what's to come in terms of
her strength,
the other Aes Sedai and like how they feel about Egwene.
Absolutely. I did press stop on the watch party. If you guys are still watching, it might still keep playing for you guys, but we are not watching it anymore. So feel free to continue watching if you want, but as long as you leave the stream open. I think we're gonna get maybe some flashbacks in episode 1 outside of the 11 minutes that we already saw. I think when we first go to Thom, if it's in episode 1.
Yeah. I was gonna say, did you were
What
you
do
showing
you
your
think
third
there's
nipple? Joe?
multiple? I'm gonna fake.
That's just a
multiple
pepperoni.
nipple just across, like just.
You should just that should be your tattoo. You should get a tattoo. Just get tattoos of extra nipples.
You know what? Man with the golden gun, 3 nipples. Why can't I?
Exactly. I don't need a tattoo to have an extra nipple because I just have one.
Oh yay!
Yeah, I'll show you. Don't worry. Next time.
I know.
The I think we're gonna get flashbacks of like the end of this fight. Like I think when we see Thom like live on the show, it's gonna be far enough after the end of the of season from season 2 that like things are starting to get cleaned up. There's some order back in the city and things like that, and we'll see some flashbacks of like Nynaeve and Elaine trying to look for Rima, or them clearing out the Shanshan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still holding hope for seeing Turok, the dinosaur hunter's treasure room, because that was one of the things. Like I love.
Do you think we're starting season 3 in Thom?
I think I don't know. No, I know. I think they said the first 11 minutes of episode 1 was what we saw. So
no, I mean, like, do you think Rand and Matt and Perrin and
yes.
do you think they're all going to still be in Thom and then travel to Tar-Valon, or do you think they're just going to start and be like, hey, remember when we were in that city?
I think we're going to see them in Thom only because of some of the stuff that we've seen in the trailer. I mean, they could be flashbacks, but we see like Rand, Matt, and Perrin.
I feel like we're going to start in Tar-Valon. Oh, you know what? Like Lan and Moraine are in like when the towers explode. Like they're there already.
Mm-hmm.
So like I feel like we're gonna start in
up,
Tar-Valon.
They could. I mean, we have to get Nynaeve. We have to get Nynaeve to Tar-Valon. So like that's gonna take time, and that could be enough time for Moraine and Lan to travel there. But there is a scene that we saw in the trailer of Rand, Matt, and Perrin all in an inn together.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Loyal is gonna take Perrin through the ways to get back to the Two Rivers?
I do.
Hmm.
Yeah, I do.
Please.
And I hope the ways at some point.
Well, I mean, from the trailer, I hope that shot of like Loyal running with Bane and Chayad is like in replacement of Gaul is basically like going to close the Waygate or whatnot. Yeah.
Absolutely. For Jono's sake, I can find that real quick. Rosamund said,
please.
What did you
I
say?
not look. I don't think they have time to do a whole lot of flashbacks, especially with all of the flash forward, backward things that we're going to see from Moraine and Rand.
And
not enough time.
I've done a terrible job keeping up with stuff. I've got a lot of work to do tomorrow. Please show me. Like seriously.
Yeah. I'm grabbing some of my. I have a file with all of the images and stuff from the trailer and all the bullshit that they've been putting out. Where's the trailer?
I feel like the Matt drinking with Rand and Perrin. I mean, it could be Thom. He's having someone draw him with the Horn of Valir or whatever, right?
Yeah.
He's
it could be Thom still,
yeah.
Because like classically the drawings are.
All right, so this is the Two Rivers people with their makeshift weapons. I think it's right after this. Perrin being angry. There we go.
I'll be honest, that picture of Max
looks so happy.
It does look.
He looks happy. Like
no, he's mad.
He's
what
not
are you
happy.
He looks angry.
He looks happy.
He's running like he's gonna
in this
fight.
one. He looks happy.
He looks happy.
He does not look happy. If he's happy, then my wife has been delighted for the last 3
I can see it in this one, but not.
That is not a no.
He's not running through the woods with Bane and Chayad like, let's go close the Waygate. Woo!
No, he just finished closing the Waygate.
Crystal, I hate to agree with Jono on this.
Please don't do that.
But the biggest argument.
But my wife hasn't been happy for a long time.
Well,
I've been married for way longer than 3 years. Is the real joke.
The biggest argument about him being happy here is the fact that they're both veiled.
Yeah, they're clearly going to fight. They're running towards battle.
No, hold on. That's just bad luck that there is a pixel across their face while they are doing
just
track
censored.
and field.
It's just censored.
It's track and field. He's about to do a hammer toss.
Yeah,
Then it's
the-
a very poor screen grab of him running because he looks happy. I'm sorry.
He doesn't look happy.
He does.
Do I have another one after this?
Jesus Christ. I don't think you've ever seen a man
Just a
orgasm. And I have
Karen
seen a
looks
lot.
fucking great, by the way. I love this armor.
Another man orgasming.
Yes, lots.
He
of
looks so
orgasms in
happy.
this one.
Yeah.
And then,
Avienda.
and then a shot of
Yeah.
probably Avienda channeling, which is going to be great. I can't
I
wait
think
to
that's
see
like
that.
Cold Rock's hold.
Actually, Chode
When
Russell.
she like picks up, yeah.
Yes, that is what I think it is. Another thing that I liked, I pointed out a
Short
bunch
stout.
in both the sneak peek, the trailer, and I forgot to do it in this episode. But if you go back and look at Egwene channeling when she burns the tree, specifically, when we see very powerful people that we as book readers know are very powerful channelers channeling, the weaves that they're using are huge. Like, look at this fire
Yeah.
here.
Mm.
Comparatively to like this is the Aes Sedai who we know now as these are the Black Aja contingent fighting the rest of the Aes Sedai in the hall of the tower. Like, they're fighting for their lives here, and look at the weaves that they're weaving.
And they're just they're little slivers of fire, and they're just shooting off little things.
I'll
But
tell you
like,
what, they
you're right.
haven't
When
I'm trying to find
like
the
Siwan
one
is
of Siwan. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. I can get it from the actual big trailer that they did. They're so much bigger and they just look heavy. I think this is a good one.
How do
there
you
go.
feel
Oh, they-
about
you know,
like
they call
them doing the Black Aja kind of reveal in front of so many people? Like, it's not a hidden thing. You know, it's
I thought
is
that,
it taken
and-
away from the Egwene storyline later, or like is it
No,
is
no, and
Nynaeve
here's
and
why.
Egwene, or like Nynaeve / Elaine, I guess, and Matt kind of like on their
The-
own, sort of?
The reason I say no,
Like they
and
are in the
I want to
books?
see what you guys think of this, is that because one, it's sealed to the tower. Like, this is sealed.
Oh yeah, it's sealed
This
in the hall.
meeting
Yeah,
is
yeah.
sealed. So the only people that know it for sure, a bunch of them are dead because they
Right.
kill a bunch of the sitters, and the Amerlin seat, who has a true accusation of hiding the Dragon Reborn from the rest of the tower, and going and meeting Moiraine behind everyone's back after she banished her. Like, all of that is true. And specifically, Jono, just for your purposes, because I forgot that you didn't see it again. When they seal this to when they sealed this meeting, and they're going again, and they're accusing Siwan is accusing Leandrin of being Black Aja. This is the shot. The Red Aja is not allowed into this meeting. So this is where the Red Aja would be sitting right here. And the sitters are not in this meeting. So none of the Red Aja are there to hear that the Black Aja is real. The only people are the ones that are left alive, and Liane and Siwan. And Nynaeve too.
So
Nynaeve,
I think this is almost a
hold on.
more logical and better way to lead into the tower breaking, but like
Exactly.
it's
That's what I'm
interesting that
saying.
it's interesting
I-
the way this is working out.
What if they're not there? They're in like, because this is supposed to be quasi like court like. What if instead of being in the audience area, they've moved up to a like accusatory kind of? I don't actually fucking know, obviously. So therefore, they wouldn't be sitting there.
No, they're
They're in the
specifically
hall.
blocked,
From-
Jono. Like
yeah,
as
they're
they walk
they're
up, like
blocked.
they're
I
not
don't
allowed
fucking
in.
know.
yeah.
I know.
I
yeah,
do
well,
have
we're answering
another
your
question though. If
Yeah,
we could
go
go
ahead.
back a couple of frames, if you have
Yeah,
time.
they're like
told
before
not to
they
come
go
in.
into the room, these are the three sitters here.
Leanne's basically like, you're allowed in because you're on trial, and you're not allowed in, Red Aja.
Yeah, you three are not
Gotcha.
allowed.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And she
So they're like
says
specifically
by tower
barred
law,
from it,
by tower law, we only need to have
like a quorum. Yeah.
yeah, to have a quorum, we don't need all 7 Ajas.
Could you go back a few?
To
To
which
the
one?
fight.
About 4 or 5. Like they're like when they're all channeling, and like
Oh,
there
yeah.
are some like really cool flows.
Sure. When we see the all the sisters channeling standing in the middle.
Yeah, it was just gonna be a real quick. Joe texted me, "quote I want you to say something sexist," and that's
Did I say
yeah,
that?
I got you.
yeah.
Sounds like
Joe
something I would say.
Joe wanted me to mention the fact that like what was going on for the thicker ones was quote a heavy flow.
Got it.
Mm.
Got it. There. Speaking
there
of,
it is, right there.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Joe, for texting.
very
me.
opportune that comment came up at that time.
This is
Heavy
Tom.
flow.
This is the point in the night where we would say that's TWoTCast for this week and leave him.
Thank you for hanging out with us, and that's TWoTCast for this week. That's a good point. That's a good point. No, but you now correct me if I'm wrong. So to before we get away from it, I just want to. This what we've seen from season 3 looks great. I put a poll out like hours ago about which Shadow Spawn could we lose. So let's finally end that poll and see what did it.
Stick.
It is stick. It is the stick.
Woohoo.
So the stick came out with 29%, dropping the Drakkar 25. Also,
I mean, the stick is a good call, John. Good job.
yeah. Losing the stick. Okay.
The name alone fucking killed itself. Like, no offense, Robert Jordan, but fuck right off with that one. Like,
I really liked the idea of everything in the blight trying to kill you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, mistake.
Okay, so
capital S. Like I'm fully
what
on
we
board
do
with
at the end of the show.
everything wants to kill you. But
Joe, did you do the you did the interview, right?
I've done the questions.
You've done it. Jono hasn't done
questions.
it. Yeah, it's even better because I know he doesn't know any of them, and it's going to be great.
He didn't
he's just got to answer them.
Great.
No, he definitely didn't, and that's my favorite part about this. So, to introduce it to Jono for the first time, and anyone else who's watching at home, one of the things that we started doing at the end of our episodes was to throw it back at our guests, because we've been talking about the show and Wheel of Time and whatever it is that we're watching. This way we get to look into the minds of our guest a little bit.
I can't wait to see this.
I enjoyed watching Inside the Actors Studio when I was a kid. So trying to think of a fun interview style, I came up with the idea of doing like a set of questions at the end of each rewatch with whatever guest we have, and we ask that same set of 10 questions to the guest. So I'm going to do that with you right now, and since you didn't pay attention, you didn't see the questions early, and that's great for me. It makes me happy.
I'll tell you what.
Oh, I have you to myself.
Joe, right the fuck off. Hey, fuck
you,
right
Joe.
Off. Yeah.
Fuck that guy. I want Jono to myself and Crystal.
Do you need me to go?
Dad.
No. It's okay. You can watch.
There's plenty of Jono to go around.
It's true.
There's not.
Anyway, welcome, my friend.
Thank you. I will come.
Thank you. Only when I tell you.
Got a promise? No.
Only when I tell you.
Brett?
Only when I tell you you're allowed to.
Let me see if my chair has the appropriate red. Yeah, we're good to go. It's got the whole.
It's at the right angle. Good. All right. That being said, what is your favorite dinosaur?
Huh. I guess T-Rex. I've never been really a big dinosaur guy. I did enjoy. What was that show? It wasn't Dino Riders, but like where they landed on a different planet, and like one group was kind of benevolent towards the dinosaurs. The other one was malevolent. The
only show I could think of is the Terrible Thunder Lizards, but I know that's not the show.
Yeah, but I was never a huge I like fossils. I've always been fascinated by history, but not really the thing for me.
Any particular fossil group jump out at you that you like?
Technically, no, they're dead.
I did see recently. So one of the Humberto asked this question to the actors in the to who he saw at the Brazilian Comic-Con, and Madeline's answer was a Stegosaurus, which is great because recently they found a 100% complete Stegosaurus, and it's currently at the Museum of Natural History in New York, which is pretty cool. It's one of the only 100% complete, like from one dinosaur. Like it wasn't like they found a bunch of different ones. It was one whole,
put it together.
It was pretty cool. Yeah. Cute. Anyway.
All right. What is your favorite word?
I do love the word cunt. I think it's like both like a fascinatingly like some people find it very, very offensive. Some do not. Some find it just kind of amusing. I actually call my wife cunty or cuntar in the most beautiful, like, hello, cunty. And she responds back immediately, as Thom knows. I think it's something that's like really one of those things that, like, I don't know, you invest what you will into it. Another one, lexicon.
Okay, I do like that.
Yeah.
I do have to say, because I know I've seen a lot of people say it all the time. They feel bad for your wife. Don't. The two of them together. First of all, the two of them together is beautiful. That's all I have to say. It's beautiful. Like they are beautiful together. They would be relationship goals if their conversations and interactions, at least the ones that I've been privy to, were like on
before she died. Yeah, we were beautiful.
Yeah. Before we started to have to move her around like Weekend at Bernie's, but that's besides the point.
Hello, yeah, sex is great.
Yeah, I love Jono. What is your least favorite word?
Huh. That's a fast. It might be even though I say it. I think it's just like it's a very Again, I say both of those terms, but they're stalling.
Yeah, filler words.
It's a fascinating question because, like, I just said the word "like" in the middle of that. So I am moderately bilingual, more than I have a degree in Spanish, and like I play soccer, so I just yell bullshit in Spanish all the time. But it's fascinating to watch the combating. Like, this is how a person speaks in who is native Hispanic, native this, and watching it. And the amount of times that I'm like, that's not a word. That's not a word. I hate the fact that I do it. And yet I do it all the damn time. I also hate the word no.
You may like and or not like, if anyone knows who's here has heard of Toastmasters. It's a public speaking kind of club where they help you with public. One of the things that they do there is they count your filler words and they tell you at the end of a speech, you did 5 6 likes,
awful.
4 you knows, and like they'll
well, you know that I
like exactly.
Phil Joe.
All right. What is your favorite fantasy curse word? Like fantasy replacement curse word?
He's like, I like all the regular ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but I enjoy a lot of the weird ones that Matt and or Elaine gets into later on. Mother's milk in a cup, sheep's milk. It all feels very like, is it breast milk? Is it cum? Like what do you mean mother's milk in a cup? It's a very interesting thing to me. I quite enjoy that. Also, bloody by itself is very evocative. So I like it.
It's like for my friends who've seen Boondock Saints. It has the diversity of the word is very strong, but they use bloody in a lot of situations. That's funny. I like when it's sighed under someone's breath after Jono says something. Is there an everyday sound that you enjoy?
Farts are funny. I'm a 39-year-old man for another 6 weeks. Farts are funny. Also, queefs are funny. Queefs are really funny. Let's see. What else?
As a free thing for you to use, one of my favorite things that one of my old supervisors used to do when he would fart, and we were standing. He queefed too, but mostly farted. If we were we used to ride around on boats to do dock building, and we were often in enclosed spaces, and he would fart and everyone would yell at him because he was gross. But he would always say, "Is that asshole talking shit behind my back again?" And it was one of my favorite ways to say that.
I do when I play soccer in the mornings, like on Sundays. So it's like it's a terrible time to play soccer. For me, at least personally. Again, approaching 40, very close. I drink every Friday, Saturday.
Exactly.
And then it's like, hey, it's 9 a.m. Let's go run around. And it's just like, well, that is a terrible idea. But why not?
And they have this Bloody Mary
just
first.
recovered from shitting myself. From the night
you would think you
before.
would get that all out when you cleaned yourself out the night before with the enema.
No, the toothbrush.
Oh,
It's electric. Dude.
On that note,
Next.
On that note, is there an everyday sound that you hate?
My wife's voice.
I can hear her cackling. Not literally, but like if she heard you say that.
I tune that right the fuck up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Who again was very nice. She brought me an entire bottle of scotch. So thanks to terrible bitch. She's the fucking worst. But yeah, it's just my wife's voice.
Is there any character from the Wheel of Time television show that you think would make a particularly good roommate?
Fascinating question.
For you,
there's a couple options that come to. Oh, you're about to say something. Yes.
No, for you. Like who would be your ideal roommate from the Wheel of Time TV show?
I'm trying to think. Like, I'll be honest. Again, I'm married for now. Who knows when she sobers up? Barney, because he leaves.
That's good. That's fair. You never know if he's going to come back, though.
And I also loved him, like as a fucking actor. So if he comes back, all right, cool. Like, you know what? The room's there for you. If he doesn't, all right, I'm just stuck with my wife again.
Who from the show? Who from the Wheel of Time show would make the very worst roommate to you?
I'll be honest. Seems like a couple options here. Not really sure any Trolloc or anything like that's really what I want to bunk with. But I don't know about Lanfear. A little sexy, but also a little weird. May burn my bed up. Not really into that.
With you in
I've
it?
got 2 cats. They like to sleep with me.
That would be a
pussy
travesty.
everywhere. Yeah, it's not for me. Just feel bad for them.
Have you ever had, like, young Jono, the child Jono, did he have a crush on a fictional character? Did you ever have a crush on a fictional character? And do you have one now?
And who is it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Wheel of Time or just in general?
Any fictional character from any realm of fiction, TV show, book, movie, comic book, anything. Who did Little Jono like?
Very surprising. And I assume Little Jono, we're going for like early teens.
Yeah, wherever you want. The first one you can remember.
Well, there's 2 up. Cameron Diaz in The Mask was like, like welcome to bonerdom. And then of course, what's her name in Austin Powers? Right. Whose name is all of a sudden the problem with drinking. What's her name? The fucking main God damn. I'm now insulting my own penis by not remembering her name. But Vanessa Kensington. Ms. Kensington, not Mrs. Yeah.
Heather Graham? Is that?
Yeah. Nope. Heather Graham was the second Austin Powers. How dare you?
Okay.
Oh.
Is it the one that's in the one with Encino Man? What's his name? The fuck's his name? Brendan Fraser. The one that's in where she's the devil and she bedazzled?
Elizabeth Hurley. Is
that it? Okay.
Elizabeth Hurley makes me want to like her come out of my dick.
Nice. There you go. Patrick is there with you. Don't worry about it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Is Patrick Cumbody over there knows what I'm talking about.
If you had to assume any job or join a group from, again, any form of fiction, fantasy, could be a movie, TV show, book, comic book, video game, whatever you want. What would you want to do or join?
I am not smart enough to have an answer for that. Assume a job. So
or join a group.
Feels like something that comes in like a weird, like, all right. But you were about to say, or
join a group.
Like become a Jedi, or
like a Jedi in Star Wars,
like
or
an elf from.
Yeah.
I
want to be a ranger in the with Faramir in Lord of the Rings or whatever.
Well, that's an option, by the way.
That is an option.
Fuck, I don't know. What would I want to be? God damn, I feel like I should probably think more broadly. You
can give your Wheel of Time answer too if you want.
Yeah.
No, twat answer. I don't know. I'm pretty fascinated by the idea of like being Brown Aja or something like that. Like being an Aes Sedai who is just safe, just kind of an interesting person who's not a fucked up, like a fucking asshole. Like, what's not to love here? Like half the time when you're embracing the Source, it feels like you're halfway to orgasm. Like these chicks are into everything they're doing. You feel more, you see more, like all that shit. Have some goddamn fun. Live a few hundred years.
Read a lot of books.
Yeah. You know what? I'll take the fucking Age of Legends versions though. Like fuck the Ajas. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Age of Legends Aes Sedai.
I like it. What do you think is the very worst job or vocation, like something that you would not want to do in a fantasy or fiction realm?
I'll be honest. Working at the not the Black Wall. What the fuck's it called? In George R. R. Martin's shit.
The Wall.
Being on the wall, being in the That sounds awful. The Night Watch sounds awful.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've read that.
Yeah.
You're cleaning shit, cleaning piss, and that's like your best day. It's a terrible job. And then when they have to go like open up new fucking like castle later on, and it's just a frozen hellhole, like fuck that.
Though I feel like you would probably be sent to the wall if you were in that.
There's a decent chance. Yeah.
Also, Noman Garden points out correctly how long before you'd have to get bound. And apparently Joe thinks about 5 minutes.
Hey, that's not bad. 5 minutes.
That's 3 minutes longer than I gave him.
Thank you. That's what my wife said.
They make pills for it now, so it's fine. All right. So this is the deep question that we have that's on here. This is the one that usually gives people a second. Is there any particular depiction of the afterlife from any fantasy or fiction that you would hope to be true when it's your time to go?
It's gonna be the dumbest answer. Wheel of Time. Honestly.
It's not a dumb answer.
Despite being obviously a dumb, drunk dick, I don't think I've done badly to too many people. Again, I'm sure there's options that are like, well, you're kind of an asshole. Well, you are what you eat. But like legitimately, I try my best, which sometimes is very, very lacking. And I don't hate the idea of living this again. I've enjoyed my life. Again, not quite 40, so hopefully there's more to it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like something that makes a lot of sense. Is like, this is, and I fucking hope so because I've quite enjoyed it. So bring it on again.
Okay.
I would also again hate to be in most of George R. R. Martin's life, or George R. or what's his name, Joe Abercrombie. I love Joe Abercrombie's books. Terrible place to live.
Yeah.
Terrible
definitely.
Place to live.
Absolutely.
He'd be
Jonah would be a hero of the horn. Oh God.
What?
Well, speaking of, let's well, thank you for answering our silly little
Yeah, it was
questions.
great.
But let's bring
Do you like the fact that I
better half
slurred
back
more
in.
and more?
That's great. There he is. There's a Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
If he was a hero of the horn, what would his weapon be when he came back? Like, what would he come back at?
Oh, he'd be like the annoying jester character that would hang out and just tell jokes to Archer Hawkwing.
Yeah, he would go up to the Shanchin and do something.
He'd be like, "This is my
ridiculous to
Archer
distract them.
Hawkwing." Would be like, "This is my bannerman. He's weird, but he's
a
very
weird
funny.
little guy.
I, like I just like having him
Cool,
around."
though.
A weird little guy.
Penis-shaped flagstaff at the top.
Just don't pay any attention to him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely could see you like distracting the enemies, and then Archer Hawkwing and like Geidelkane coming in from the side and taking you out. Weirdo of the horn. There you go.
Just playing his skin flute.
I gotta go masturbate soon before my wife falls asleep. But Joe would appreciate this story because he's lived it. When we played soccer, like our first couple years, we used to do face paint before our games. And we didn't just do like face paint, like we would pretend to like
we did like
do
Braveheart face paint.
Braveheart, but also like sometimes like just like herpes red stuff here, like just like weird dumb.
Oh yeah,
shit.
instead of blue, our colors were red and white, so it was always red face paint. So a lot of people did like a red handprint or something like that, but
yeah,
we just did weird.
We
shit.
lost a lot of games.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Yeah.
But you look
Well,
foolish doing it. So
That sounds
But we
like
look
you
so
guys.
cool.
It sounds like you guys have known each other for a long time and maybe been doing Wheel
yeah.
of Time stuff for a while. Like,
Yeah.
maybe
Yeah.
the oldest Wheel of Time podcast.
For
Ever?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like not even a question. Like 100%.
It had to be like what 2010, 2011.
I was around there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And hold on.
We're closing in on 15 years.
I was about to say that's like 14, 15 years. It took me a second.
Yeah.
I was tapping on the table to get the counting because I didn't want to look down at my fingers, but I'll just tell you that I'm dumb.
I want to look in at your fingers.
I was preparing them for you. They're all for you. And one of the other things that we like to do at the end of the show, other than reminding you that there are 2 other people on the TWoTCast that you can listen to. It's not just Jono, so you should go and check out their stuff. What reread are you guys doing right now?
We're wrapping up book 4.
Nice.
Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Literally put a condom on it.
Yeah, well, I mean that's why we did it. Even though we've done the books before, back when we were doing it leading up to the Memory of Light hadn't come out yet, and we were on like a tight timeline, and like as it was approaching, it kept getting delayed, so we would have more time to do like
Gathering Storm
like we started
out
like
when we were
4
doing this?
episodes. Yeah, we're approaching like the last book, and every time it got pushed back, we're like, oh, now we can do book 4 in 6 episodes or 8 episodes.
7
like it kept getting pushed
episodes.
back, kind of thing. And like, but even
Casual
that's not
150
enough.
pages.
So like, we always kind of meant to circle back around and one day and like really explore the chapters and go further in depth. And now we do it like 16 or 18 parts, kind of like per book. And but we're always meant to kind of keep in time with the show. So like the show's covering book 4, theoretically in the next season, ish. So like we're kind of like moving along that, but but right now I think we'll finish right before the show comes out. So
nice.
we're right there.
And our
co-host Thom O'Hara is going to be with us.
Never again,
because he died of childbirth.
He died of childbirth.
Tom's having he had a new baby on Saturday. So like Taffy Bennington has been filling in for Thom. So we've been we've had a Taffy Bennington sub for Thom for a little while, and hopefully it continues through the episodes for the show. And if it doesn't, well, like if she's like on board with you guys, and
if you ever want to fill in Thom,
we're gonna have we might have need for some fill in Toms.
I want to fill in Thom.
You could fill in me whenever you want, Jono. I mean, we don't even need to do it on camera. We could just do it for funsies.
But we could do it on camera and make some money.
That's true. That's true. We got to get an OnlyFans set up. But speaking of doing things on camera and making money, our guest for next week and our show for next week is going to be I just really been staring at this image and I wanted to get it up. Christina Gruhl, we've had her on before. She's fantastic author. Her books are great, and I'm not just saying that because she put me in her books. And my cat Luna is also in the books.
Yay!
She's a lot of fun.
Kitty.
She's also, if you've been to Jordan, are you guys gonna be at Jordan Con this year?
We are.
We are at
despite
always.
the massive different distance that we have to travel. Joe 18, me 12 miles. We're gonna make it.
Good.
Yeah.
Also,
Well,
maybe
we'll make
half that for both of us.
I was gonna say I was like 18 minutes. I don't know about miles.
yeah. Yeah.
We got to
Either way,
get
we'll be
we got to
there.
get you
Jordan
guys
Con's in
over
our
to
backyard.
Yeah,
I do. Yeah, one
We
of
gotta
these,
get you
one
guys
of
over to
these
WoTCon when you
days,
get a chance.
Tom. We'll
We
get up
gotta
to
get you
WoTCon.
there. It's gonna be
One of
fun.
these days.
Anyway,
One of these
I
days.
love all of you awesome nerds, even Jono, despite my better angels. But anyway, say goodnight, Crystal.
Good night, Crystal.